guys, welcome back to the channel, and on today's video I have a good one for you. I have another banger of a shoe from Salomon, and I think this shoe is going to be pretty much ideal for these hot summer runs. Guys, on today's video we're going to be digging into the Salomon Aero Blaze 3. Let's get into it. Before we get started, I just want to say that this video is in collaboration with my friends over at Roadrunner Sports. Now, the Salomon Aero Blaze 3 was sent to me for the purpose of review. However, no one at Roadrunner Sports has told me what to say. They don't have any editorial privileges, and all the thoughts and opinions are my own. With that said, you're going to be able to pick up your own pair of the Salomon Aero Blaze 3 from Roadrunner Sports for $140. And of course, I'll place a link in the show notes below in case you want to head on over to Roadrunner Sports and pick up a pair for yourself. Guys, here it is, the Aero Blaze 3. Now, for the last couple iterations of the Aero Blaze, I've really enjoyed running in it. And that is mainly because it's very light and very breathable. And of course, you know the Aero Blaze is like the little brother to the Aero Glide. This is the Aero Glide 3, and very basically the Aero Blaze 3 is the Daily Trainer and the Aero Glide 3 is the Max Cushion Daily Trainer. So while the Aero Glide 3 has 41 in the heel and 33 in the forefoot, the Aero Blaze 3 has 35 in the heel, 27 in the forefoot for an 8mm drop. That's still a pretty good stack height of foam, and we'll get more into how the shoe feels when you're actually running in it in just a second. But as far as the weight goes, Salomon claims that in a US men's size 9, the Aero Blaze 3 will tip the scale at 8.1 ounces or 230 grams. That's pretty light. Over in my size, a US men's size 12.5, it still only tips the scale at 9.2 ounces or 260 grams. So yes, this thing is light. But let's dig into the makeup of the shoe, and of course we're going to start at the top and work our way down. And if I hold that up to you, yeah, you can see that heel collar padding. And by showing you this, I want you to see that it's padded. Like, it's more than padded to be comfortable when you put your foot in, but it's not over the top. I know this is a $140 Daily Trainer, but you know as well as I do, sometimes these brands really overdo the padding, and that isn't the case here. The heel counter on the Aero Blaze is nice and rigid. It gave me a good heel lockdown, but of course if you still had heel slip, we do have that extra lace loop right on the top, so you would be able to do the runner's knot. The upper on the Aero Blaze 3 is a seamless engineered mesh, and it's quite rigid. Like when I run my hand over it, the feel of the material is quite stiff, but it is very breathable. Now, for those of you that were paying attention, you've probably heard me say it's a seamless engineered mesh upper, and that is actually pretty rare, because when I look around the shoe, it's like I realize, yeah, it really is seamless. What really brings it home is when I look at the upper of the Aero Glide 3. Don't know if you can see that, but there are a lot of seams all around it. In fact, we have this little shark's fin right on the back. And then there's overlays with seams. Like, this is the traditional setup for a shoe, and the Aero Blaze 3 is actually quite different by having a seamless upper. It's nice. It's giving off some very clean vibe. Now, as far as overlays go, yeah, there's not going to be too many because it's seamless. Got some branding right here on the back with Salomon on the lateral side. There are some overlays just coming around the eyelet chain. Obviously, we need that just to keep that strong. There is an underlay coming around the toe box, and that's pretty much it. Now, on my colorway, you can see these red lines right here. This is just going to be the Sensi fit, and basically that's just a little reinforcement in the upper that when you lock down those laces across your midfoot, it's going to give you a good midfoot lockdown. Just kind of directs the upper to wrap around your foot. It works very well. The tongue on the Aero Blaze 3, it is the type of tongue that is a Daily Trainer tongue. That is, it's very padded. It's kind of the same thickness padding all the way down. But much like this heel collar padding, it's not over the top. Do you know what I mean? When I say it is a Daily Trainer type of tongue, as opposed to a race day trainer type of tongue that is just paper thin. No, we have plenty of padding here on the tongue, and yet the weight is still very low. The tongue on the Aero Blaze 3 is not gusseted, but we do have a big lace loop here on the front. And for me, personally, I didn't have any issues with the tongue moving around on me. When I laced down the shoe, I got a good lockdown, and the laces never came untied. The Aero Blaze 3 does have a removable Ortholite insole, so just in case you wanted to take that out and put in something custom or replace it, definitely have that option. And then we're going to move down to the midsole, because this is what I want you to listen to, especially if you've run in Salomon shoes, you know, maybe last year or in the last couple of years, because Salomon has updated their midsole foam in the Aero Blaze 3 to Energy Foam Evo. And Energy Foam Evo is a beaded TPU foam, and for me, this brought Salomon shoes to the next level. They're Daily Trainers. Because before, when we were using Energy Foam in the Aero Blaze, the Aero Blaze 2, and of course the Aero Glide 2, by the way, the Aero Glide 3 does have that Energy Foam Evo also, but before we were using Energy Foam, and I always just found it just maybe slightly too firm for my taste. Now with the Energy Foam Evo, it's a softer durometer, feels very nice underfoot. And by that, I mean it gives a lot of protection, and it's light, and it does offer some pop. And if we come down to the bottom of the shoe, yeah, you can see we've got a good coverage of road contour grip. This is fairly typical for Salomon, with this ring of outsole rubber coming around the outside and then a big chunk of road contour grip right here on the forefoot. And this road contour grip, I've really got no complaints over the grippiness. Let's see, I have put quite a few miles in this shoe and I am seeing just a little bit of wear here, but overall it's nothing that has me concerned for the type of wear that I usually get. And I am seeing just a little bit of wear up on my forefoot too, with just those little nodules getting worn down slightly. But I've got no problem telling you that the Aero Blaze 3 is going to last an average number of miles. And when I say average, I'm thinking at least 400 miles. So yeah, these shoes are going to last. Yeah, if you just notice this midsole, we have this decoupled midsole here, which is also going to contribute to a softer ride, as this space allows the foam to just expand during your gait cycle when you land and then toe off. One thing that does contribute to the epic ride that's put out by the Aero Blaze 3 is the rocker. And I just want to show you right here on the table. Can you guys see? Yeah, you can see that fine. Do you see how smoothly that shoe rocks? That really comes across when you're running, especially if you're a heel striker or a midfoot striker. The Aero Blaze 3 just rolls through your gait cycle very nicely. It's a fun shoe to run in. Now, of course, nowadays, with all the shoe companies just going max, and even Salomon with the Aero Glide 3 with 41 millimeters of stack in the heel, I think sometimes we think that only 35 in the heel, 27 in the forefoot is a low stack shoe. I mean, maybe it is considered a mid-stack shoe now. Guys, I'm here to tell you, at least for me, I mean, I can only talk for myself, right? But 35 in the heel is more than enough protection for almost any run. In fact, I don't know. I'm going to go out there and say it's enough for any run. I would have no problem doing my long runs in the Aero Blaze 3 with this 35 millimeters of stack in the heel. The additional upside of having such a light shoe is it allows you to pick up the pace. And when we are talking about a daily trainer is supposed to do a little bit of everything really well. I mean, mainly we're going out for a lot of easy runs, but in my testing of the Aero Blaze 3, I did take this shoe out for 800 meter repeats. And I've got to say, it performed exceptionally well. There was never a time when I was running those repeats that I thought, oh, I think the shoe is holding me back. I need something a little lighter. I need a plate. No, this is a solid training shoe. And it does all the types of runs that you are going to experience during your training cycle. The Energy Foam Evo, I know I said it's a lot softer than the Energy Foam before it, but it's definitely not too soft. I wouldn't call it plush, but Salomon has somehow, they've threaded the needle. And I know this is all very much a personal preference, but for me at least, they've threaded the needle between softness and firmness, and it just feels good to run it. But look, I know if you are thinking of picking up a pair of the Salomon Aero Blaze 3, there's a bit of competition out there. I mean, there's really not much. When we're talking about a $140 shoe that is light, that can pick up the pace quite well, I suppose there aren't that many competitors. And I don't know if you've noticed, but a lot of these $140 shoes seem to be coming a little more towards $150 shoes now. So for the shoes that are still $140, I think it represents an incredible value. But sorry, I'm getting off topic. Now, if you are thinking of picking up a pair of the Aero Blaze 3, you're probably also going to be looking at the Asics Nova Blast 5. Now, the Asics Nova Blast 5 has a little more stack. We have 41.5 in the heel, 33.5 in the forefoot for an 8mm drop. It'll also cost $140. And in my size, the Nova Blast 5 tips the scale at 303 grams. So the Aero Blaze 3 in my size weighs 43 grams less than my size in the Nova Blast 5. Next up, I think we should also consider the New Balance Rebel V5. Now, as far as stack height, the Rebel V5 is very similar. We have 35 in the heel, 29 in the forefoot for a 6mm drop. So 6mm drop, 8mm drop. The Rebel V5 will also cost you $140, the same price. In my size, the Rebel V5 tips the scale at 263 grams. So the Aero Blaze 3 is still 3 grams less than the New Balance Rebel V5. And finally, because I wanted 3 comparables, I think we should also consider the Adidas Supernova Rise 2. Now, the Supernova Rise 2 is the same price as the Aero Blaze 3, both $140. The Supernova Rise 2 has 36.26 for a 10mm drop, and in my size tips the scale at 323 grams. So with this comparable, the Aero Blaze 3 weighs 63 grams less than the Supernova Rise 2. What are your thoughts on those comparables? But what I really want to know is, have you run in any Salomon road shoes? Have you run in any of the other Aero Blaze through the years? So the original, version 2? And are you thinking of picking up a pair of the Salomon Aero Blaze 3? Definitely drop a comment and let me know. But for now, it's Matt B. This has been my review of the Salomon Aero Blaze 3. Be kind, be happy, run well. See you in a couple of days.